to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United transfer news as Fabrizio Romano confirms that Manchester United are still very much in the race for Ligt. In fact, saying it's a separate story to Yoro, which is completely different to what we were talking about yesterday. Also, what's the latest with Yoro as Manchester United set a transfer deadline day? We don't want to get played. Talking about getting played, there's talk of a third bid going in for Branthwaite. We'll talk about that, why and what that's all about. Also, Mason Greenwood, bit of a twist on that deal in relation to it's not as good as maybe we first thought it was, and a bit of naivety probably from me and certainly other people on that one. It's not as good as we thought it was. We'll talk about why. Also, Erik ten Hag winning back the doubters. Are we noticing a trend now where those negative journalists and ex-players are now getting behind Ten Hag? Is that cowardice, weakness? Do they need to? All good, I think. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But let's fly straight into the show. If you're missing the intro when you're live, by the way, it's not missed when it's watched back. I don't know what that's all about, so... You're a victim of watching it live, I suppose, because when you watch it back, the intro's there. So nothing I can do about that. Send your letters to YouTube. But let's go straight into it. We're going to start off talking about the centre-back situation with Manchester United. Just on a side note, by the way, I saw Fabrizio with an update in the last few minutes about Todibo, who's going to go to Juventus. So we're out. That whole story about getting a lawyer involved and taking it to the CAS, we've bottled that. I mean, I think that's a shame. I think that is a shame. I think letting UEFA get away with that's a joke. And I don't think Man City would let them get away with it. But Man United have obviously decided that they're not going to do that. So Todibo will be signing for Juventus. According to Fabrizio, we will not be going to court, which I suppose is news. There we go. Let's get into it. Let's talk about what we've got on the show this morning. And we will be talking about Ligt, first of all, because it's funny, isn't it? Last night I said that lovely show last night as well. Loved the energy, good show. And I said last night, I've just got a feeling that we will see Ligt holding a Man United shirt, whether it's because Yoro pulls out, whether it's because we get Yoro and we still get Ligt. I really do feel that we will still get that deal done. I think Manchester United are a football club that doesn't take the piss, really, when it comes to, you know, how we do our dealings. And we have agreed a deal. The deal is agreed with Ligt. I mean, people need to remember this. And this was what Fabrizio Romano's update actually is. There is a separate story going on with Ligt to Yoro. The deal is agreed with Ligt, like personal terms. He wants to come to Manchester United. The final stage is, and they're still working on it, is the fee with Bayern Munich. So they're still negotiating with Bayern Munich, but the deal is done with Ligt, and it's still being worked on. So it's a separate story, and that's from Fabrizio Romano. Well, I tell you what, I take a deep breath on that because I felt that story yesterday morning, and the validity of it is somewhat questioned. It was in The Athletic. I think it had David Ornstein's name on it amongst other people, but I don't think it was like a direct quote from David Ornstein. And, you know, we'll have to wait and see what the truth is. But Fabrizio this morning saying that Ligt is still a deal that Manchester United are working on with Bayern Munich. It's a separate story, and that the deal is agreed with Ligt. We're just negotiating the fee with Bayern Munich, which is completely opposite to Yoro, of course. We've agreed the fee with Lille, and we're trying to negotiate with Yoro. So I think that there's still a very high chance that we will sign Ligt, and I'm encouraged by that because it doesn't actually make sense to, as I said last night, do all this work on personal terms with Ligt and persuade him to come to Man United and then go, oh, actually, if we get Yoro, we don't want you. So I still think that deal's going to happen. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see just what happens with Yoro and whether we still follow through with the Ligt deal. But I think we will. Morning, Mark. Can't wait to see Ligt at United, says Christian. And yeah, I think that I would agree with that. And I think a lot of people are on that boat as well, where it's just... he maybe wasn't the number one choice I had in mind. I was thinking Todibo and Branthwaite would be our, top two centre-back targets, and I think in many ways they were. But we've pivoted, and I quite like the De Ligt deal. I do quite like it, and I'm used to it now, so I do want it to happen. Can we just proceed with De Ligt? I'm tired of this Yoro talk, says Jimmy. Well, what we're hearing this morning about Yoro is that, as per last night, United and every bloody prat who wants to try and pretend they've got sources are saying he's open to joining Man United. I'm hearing he's open to joining United. Are you really? Are you really? Well, you didn't. You need to go and have a bloody hearing test, because you didn't hear Real Madrid's second bid, did you? So, yeah, what are you talking about? Because all I've ever heard is he wants to join Real Madrid, and we're waiting for Real Madrid to bid. Where we are this morning, and it fits in with what we were talking about last night, United have basically done the deal with Lille, and they've basically presented the deal to Yoro. In fact, Fabrizio was saying this morning that the offer that Man United have made to Yoro is massive. Like, on wages, on everything. It's a massive deal for Lille, and it's a massive deal for Yoro. So Man United have not left anything to chance. They've put in a big bid. It's lucrative. It's generous. It might be too much. I don't know what it is. But we've put a massive bid in to Yoro. So we've done our bit. There's not any more negotiations. It's not like Yoro can say, can I have another 30 grand? Because he's already getting a lot. So why is Yoro not signing? And this is where the deadline comes in. What we're hearing this morning is Manchester United don't want to keep waiting on this deal. They want to move on if it's not going to be possible. They've presented their deal. It's accepted by Lille. They've presented a very generous offer to the player and his entourage, and you make your decision. And if you can't make your decision based on what's in front of you, then clearly you don't want to come to Manchester United. And I think that is the intelligent thing to do. And United will want to do that because their transfer window is stalling. There was a momentum and there was an excuse when the Euros were on, but pre-season has started. We're flying out to America in just over a week, and we've signed one player, and we need to sign at least 6. So we can't wait anymore. We need to move on. And whatever the plans are around De Ligt, Yoro, Branthwaite, we can't do any more with the Yoro deal. There is the money, there is the fee, there is the wages, there is everything else. Are you coming? Oh, I don't really know. Come on. What do you mean you don't really know? Like, you either want to come or you don't. And I think that's right of United. We'll have to wait and see how quickly this gets resolved now. I think if he's coming to Manchester United, it surely happens very, 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 very soon, maybe even today. If he's not coming to Manchester United, then we need to move on and do something else very, very quickly. I'd rather sign Lenny Henry than Leny Yoro, says Keel. Oh, come on, mate. I don't think Yoro is a bad player. Jem says Yoro is clearly wanting Real Madrid to let him go, so let him go. At least De Ligt wants to come to us and isn't keeping everyone hanging around making decisions. Carmine, not heard from you in ages, has just gifted 5 memberships. You're an absolute legend. Hope you're doing well, mate. Absolute legend with that. Make sure you say thank you to Carmine if you got one. Osimhen is going to PSG. We'll talk about that in a moment. Patrick Lynch says the details of the De Ligt deal, it makes sense that we do it. Why go to all the trouble of personal terms if you're not going to do it and pull out? Doesn't it damage our reputation if we pull out the deal? Exactly, Patrick. As I said last night, I don't think we will pull out of that at all. And hello, Mark. Not that much news on Agate. Also, if we're only going for one midfielder, is Agate really better than Amrabat, says Ankit? Well, look, I think any new signing is better than a previous signing. But, that's because we get hyped about deals that we haven't seen them before. Look, the attraction of a transfer window and the excitement of a transfer window is that you buy a player that you haven't seen play for Man United, and that is a mystery, and that is exciting. I don't want to be, well, it's not even vulgar. Imagine the person that you fall in love with, and you haven't been to that, room yet with them. I'm not talking about panic room, you know what I mean? You're in love with this person, but you don't know the reality of what it's like. Could live up to your expectations, could be really dull and boring. And that, I think, is the wonder of a transfer window. You buy this thing that you really want, but you don't know what it's going to actually be like yet. And the mystery and fantasy of it is sometimes way, way better than the reality. And that's why transfer windows are so captivating for so many people, because the reality is not yet lived. You just get the fantasy. And look, this time last year, everyone was saying that Amrabat's an amazing player. I remember it, and we've done it with plenty of others. But doesn't mean we shouldn't be excited about Ugarte. Man United says, we're talking about long-term and setting foundations. Yoro is the better long-term deal. It's a risk, but their potential resale value, which is what we need. Yeah, but I don't want to do that. This is a great point, actually. This is a great point. I was having this conversation last night about, why you'd go for Yoro over De Ligt. De Ligt comes straight into the team now, year 3 of the project, next to Martinez, hits the ground running, you're into the top 4. Yoro comes in, takes him a couple of years to get going. You don't get top 4. You maybe have to change your manager. So what is the long-term benefit? And then the long-term benefit, like Man United said, is the resale value. But I don't want a resale value. We're Manchester United. That's Dan Ashworth at Brighton. Let's get Yoro when he's 18 and sell him to Real Madrid for 100 million when he's 23. But that's we don't want it. We're Manchester United. We don't want to do that. I accept that Real Madrid is probably the only club in the world that you would sell a player to, and you can't do anything about it. Ronaldo, Beckham, Van Nistelrooy. But we don't want to buy players for a resale. That's not what you do, in my opinion. Just bought my first Man United game versus Ipswich at home, says Kanye. Enjoy. Just an interesting point, though. I just want to offer a little bit of promise on the Real Madrid and Yoro link. And I want to just say this. Real Madrid at the moment, I don't necessarily know that Yoro is a priority. Like, Yoro to Manchester United is a priority. And we're bidding 50 million quid. Real Madrid don't see Yoro as an absolute priority. They want him, but they don't see him as a priority. Their priority this summer was Mbappe. They're now talking to Alphonso Davies. There's been talk of Trent. Yoro is a player that they want, and they may well get. But Real Madrid stories today are not full of Yoro. They're all talking about Mbappe yesterday. I mean, look, we can all slate Real Madrid. Most of it is based on jealousy. That football club, whether we like it or not, is elite. I mean, we love Man United, but Real Madrid just packed out the Bernabeu to present Mbappe. Like, I don't know whether we could do that at Manchester United, but we certainly don't. Like, they sign a player, that player walks into the stadium, not on a match day, and they pack the stadium out. Like, whether we hate Madrid or love Madrid or whatever, or respect Madrid, and I respect it, it's annoying, but I respect it, the enormity of that football club is unbelievable. I mean, literally packing out the Bernabeu for a new signing. And it's not just because it's Mbappe, they've done it before. They do it all the time. So their focus at the moment is not beating Manchester United to an 18-year-old potentially good centre-back from Lille. They've just been announcing Mbappe, and he might not be a priority, which might be why we get this deal done. But I would guarantee you, if we do get Yoro and he does do well, Real Madrid will come back in and he will want to go. And anybody who doesn't think that is a fool. An absolute fool, because I've lived it. Many of you have lived it. Ronaldo always wanted to go to Real Madrid. You don't that dream doesn't die. It's going to happen with Garnacho. Real Madrid know that. Like, if Yoro comes to United and does well, he will not be a Man United player when he's 25. He will be playing for Real Madrid, and Real Madrid will come back in and they will get him, and that will happen. So, and some might say, well, that could happen with any player. It could do. I don't think Kobe Mainoo is going to go to Real Madrid. If Man United provide a platform to win the Premier League and the Champions League, I don't think Mainoo will go to Real Madrid. He might, but with Yoro, it's bloody obvious that he definitely wants to do that at some point. Chasing Yoro is like chasing for someone with options. Chasing De Ligt is like chasing someone that likes you for who you are, says EXO. Can Yoro play how we need him to, says Kia? Well, he will go straight into the team. Sean Rich, welcome to Members Club. And Jonathan says, hi, Mark. I think it would be good for United to move on if Yoro takes too long. Shows that we're not playing around. And I hope that does happen. I hope that does happen. And that is the story this morning, that Man United aren't going to hang around. Look, what we've been told, and I think Sam C tweeted it this morning, what we've been told this morning is that Manchester United want Yoro. They've presented the offer to Yoro. There's no more negotiations because Lille are happy, and we've offered Yoro very, very generous terms. So there is no negotiation. It's like, that's on the table. Do you want to sign it? And there is no hour or two, really, for him to think about it. He either wants it or he doesn't. And if he delays it, United's stance is we need to move on because this whole week has been slow because of this. Everything has slowed down for United because of this, and they can't afford. I mean, we spoke about it in mid-June. If United need to remove on 10 players and bring in 7 players, we figured it out. You've got to be doing a deal every 3 working days if you take out Saturday and Sunday. Well, we haven't done a deal every 3 working days, have we? We've done one last Thursday, which was announced officially on Sunday. We are a little bit behind, so we do need to get moving. Are the McTominay contract talks true, says Sanil? Yes, they are. As I said, on late February, he's not for sale, and he's out of contract in a year, so we have to give him a new contract. Olivier Litang, the president of Lille, is telling Leny Yoro to sign for Man United, says Jimmy. It's all sports news. Leny Yoro is one of the best coming out from the back, but Danny's not. Like he simply isn't. Like that's just fake news. And I don't even watch a lot of Yoro, but everybody who has spoken about Yoro, who is respectable, has said that he doesn't like to bring the ball out from the back yet. That's something that we do need to do. But oh my God, Yoro accepts Manchester United. What the hell? Exclusive. Leny Yoro flying to UK to take medical and finalise personal terms as Manchester United push to complete signing from Lille. 18-year-old defender initially favoured Real Madrid, but Lille accepted 62 million. Still work to do, but now very close. Oh my God. Oh my God. Right, I'm going to have to stop this video and do another one. We'll be live in about 30 seconds time because I'm going to go live with Yoro done. This is massive. See you in a minute.